Hello and welcome to this episode of 101 Sports. I'm your host, Luis Muller.
And I'm Emmanuel Tobe. We've got so much in store for you this episode, including something that we've never done before. And it all starts, you ready?
Right now.
Hello everyone and welcome to 101 Sports. I'm your host, Emmanuel Tobe.
And I'm Luis Muller.
And we are right here with the quick hitters. Despite the fall days getting shorter, the Suns are still alive in the WNBA Finals after a Game 4 victory. There are arguments that this might be the best Game 5 in WNBA history. Luis, who you got winning it all?
I'm gonna have to go with the Suns. You gotta ride some momentum. They won Game 4 by 4 points. The final was 90 to 86. And in sports, momentum means a lot. It means a lot, and especially in basketball, because as long as you can ride the momentum, especially going away, you have no pressure on you. You're not in the spotlight. You can just sit back and just play your game.
I see what you're saying about momentum, and I understand it, but when I think of momentum, I'm thinking about one momentum with the Washington Mystics, home. At home, they are 17-4 this year. They've been playing so well at home. And look at their offense. They have such a great offense. They have the best offense in the WNBA. They're averaging 89.7 points per game. Look at how this team has been playing, and look at how they've been playing at home. It's Game 5. You want that home crowd advantage. And if you look at it, it works with a good offense. Now, the Suns have a great defense. I'm not going to disagree with that. But when it's Game 5 and you're at home, and this is for the finals, this is for the ship, you want that offense because that's going to get your fans into it. And they have the best one in the WNBA.
I would love to be on that stage just to hear the fans scream and just to hear the roar in the crowd.
Oh, yeah.
But to have your fans watching from a distance and not having that pressure of having to impress your fans and satisfy their needs, I think that's the only reason why the Suns are going to take it. Plus, they won the last game. They could just ride that wave.
They did win the last game, but I still go with Washington and the talent that they have as well.
Houston Rockets general manager DARRYL MOREY is in hot water after he tweeted support for the Hong Kong protests against China. This had led several Chinese partners to cut ties with the NBA after Commissioner Adam Silver refused to apologize for Morey's post. Emmanuel, what are your thoughts on the situation?
I have so many thoughts on this situation. To me, this is one of the most interesting NBA stories in the past 5 years.
Of course.
I understand, with Kawhi, rebalancing the NBA, but when you look at the future of the NBA, to me, this right here is going to determine what's going to happen. And if you are Adam Silver, if you're the NBA, you're in this very awkward moment where you're just stuck in the middle between China, who is your second largest market, and then the freedom of expression, the freedom of speech. What do you do if you're Adam Silver?
Honestly, I'm glad I'm not Adam Silver because I would have no idea what to do. I think all Major League sports are kind of trying to find their way into foreign areas. For example, the MLB just had a British game. The NHL goes away. They went to Switzerland last year, I believe, or Sweden it was, excuse me. And I think this is a good step forward for the NBA, but this obstacle is going to stop them from meeting that level with all the other Major League sports.
Yeah, but one thing about China and the NBA and their relationship is that people have been talking like this is a brand new relationship. Yes, some of the deals and plans are brand new, but this is a relationship where China has literally been the second largest market for the NBA since Kobe. China has been a huge market and a huge money maker for the NBA for a very long time, and they're unhappy about this. So
money speaks volumes, but I think it's bigger than business. I think it's about American rights. You have free speech, and China's mad at the Houston Rockets general manager because he spoke freely. And I support Adam Silver for doing what he did because this is America. We don't live in China. I do want the NBA to expand past the United States and North America, but I think it's really important to value our rights, our morals. I don't think it's right to just kind of concede to China.
Understand that? Former Patriots tight end Rob Gronkowski has signed a deal with Fox Sports to become an analyst. This is a smart move for Fox, and will Gronk make a good fit?
I think he's going to make a good fit. His debut is against the Giants and the Pats tonight, actually, and he's going to be comfortable talking about the players because he was just on that team. And being around the sport for as long as he has, you're going to have a great value knowledge for the sport. You're going to know what you're talking about. You're going to be able to break it down for the kids at home who are watching to understand, kind of mimic the things that are happening.
I mean, I agree with you. I think this would be a great fit, but not for the knowledge that he has. But I think it's because of his personality. And when you look at how sports are evolving, like I like Jason Witten. And he knew some stuff, but his personality and the way he just talked, it just wasn't interesting and engaging for the audience. But Gronk has such a personality, and that's what's attracting people nowadays. Look at Inside the NBA. Look at Pat McAfee. You know, it's all about the personality. Why do you think I'm up here?
I mean, me too. You gotta look at personality and kind of, it's the entire show personality. For example, Joe Buck. I'm sorry, Joe Buck's a great announcer, but I just can't watch him.
It's the fundamentals that Joe Buck has.
Well, that's all the time we have for Quick Hitters. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Until next time, whose side are you on? Definitely mine. We're officially on to the League Championship Series in Major League Baseball, as the Yankees, Cardinals, and Nationals all advance in a wild first round of action from the Diamond. I'm Luis Muller, joined by Javik Blake, Connor Witsoe, and Zach Cioffi to break it down. So Javik, who's your most surprising team?
Well, first off, what a first round of the playoffs.
Oh,
19 games, every game
Lord.
has been absolutely amazing, down to the wire, comebacks, bullpens, starting pitching's making a comeback in the playoffs. How about that? So much fun to watch, but most impressive team, the Tampa Bay Rays. They were in a stacked AL East in the beginning of the year. No one gave them a shot. They were down 2-0 to the Astros, and it looked done. Verlander steamrolled them. Even Kevin Cassidy, we got Verlander. He turned Justin Verlander into a verb. And then Garrett Cole came and ran through him. And then the series went to Tampa Bay. The Cole train.
The Cole train ran right through him.
And then they went to Tampa Bay. And surprisingly, the Trop in the playoff is an incredibly hard place to play. It's loud, it's energetic, it's a dome, so it reverberates all around the place.
It's hard to play in the regular season because nobody shows up.
That is
Basically
also
playing in front of
also
nobody.
All 5 fans of the Rays show up, and it's loud.
Well, all 32,000 showed up. Tommy Pham and Willie Adames are going off. Tommy Pham has a 1.169 OPS, and he struck out 3 times all series. Their pitching staff has been amazing, a 2.09 ERA in 43 innings pitched, and they've been amazing, and they have a chance to win tonight and move on to the ALCS.
I don't know. I don't know about that. While I admit the Rays have done super well so far in the postseason, I got to go with the Nats, and here's why. Like, they weren't even supposed to come close to beating the Dodgers, let alone win a game. And here we are. They just eliminated a team that has gone to the World Series twice in a row, given they lost. But I mean, what are we talking about here? This is a team that had one of the worst bullpens in the MLB this season, and look what they did to the Dodgers last night. Like, I'm losing my mind here.
The thing with me, with both your answers, you're talking about the Astros and the Dodgers. Those are 2 teams that have been disappointing to me. Yes, the Rays have showed out. Yes, the Nationals have showed out. But the #1 seeds in both leagues, disappointing to me. Give me some love to the St. Louis Cardinals. I mean, you're talking about a team.
I'm a Cubs fan. I'm a Cubs fan. I can't give you any love to the
Cardinals.
Cardinals.
A team that was going through a young Atlanta Braves team, and no one really picked the Cardinals to really go anywhere. But I've been loving the old guys stepping up. Adam Wainwright, Yadier Molina, and this is a team that could beat the Nationals. I mean, they're not a lot of star-studded players, but they just get the job done. I thought the Braves had a fine series, unlike the Astros and the Dodgers. I think the Braves played well. The Cardinals just outplayed them.
Well, they certainly outplayed him when Mike Foltynewicz goes to pitch in Game 5. 10 runs in the first inning.
On the road.
But Jack Flaherty and Tommy Edman showed up in that series, and that is a really good team, especially if Wainwright keeps pitching the way he
The
did.
only question I have for the St. Louis Cardinals would be their bullpen. Carlos Martinez choked a lot
Big
in
time.
that series.
Huge.
And that's going to be a huge
Let's
factor.
show some love to the guy, John Brebbia.
Ooh,
At
true.
Elon University. Had a big strikeout early in the series. So they have options. I mean, but they're going to get to a national team whose bullpen had a good series, but there's still a lot of question marks.
I don't know. I'm running on the Nats right now. I'm super hyped about them. This is like I feel like this could be their year. They have to get past. They have to get past the Cardinals.
You're talking about a team with Scherzer, Strasburg, Corbin. Yes, the Dodgers are a tough task, but we all knew the Nationals would compete.
All
You got
of
a
those
lineup with Juan
pitchers-
Soto, MVP candidate Anthony Rendon, and those top 3 pitchers. We knew they'd compete.
All of those pitchers did come out of the bullpen. because the Nats bullpen struggled all season long, and they need starting pitcher to come out the bullpen. So now we have Yadi, who was clutch, and clutch is a huge factor for MVPs. I'm going to have to ask you, Connor, who's your MVP so far?
My MVP so far is, it's a debate between St. Louis Cardinals offense and the Nats offense, mainly because the Nats went up against the Dodgers, have a phenomenal starting lineup, and they were able to produce. Now, given that they did most of their producing late, given last night as we showed as a prime example, but I don't know. It's a debate because also with the Cardinals, look at what they did last night. Like, holy cow. I walked into Mosley and saw the TV. I was like, yep, this game's done.
10-0 in the first inning. Javik, who's your MVP?
You're basing all your answers off of one game in Game 5. Are we forgetting about the New York Yankees, who steamrolled through the Minnesota Twins? Gleyber Torres, MVP, second baseman. He's 22 years old.
What does MVP stand for? What does MVP stand for?
You're
Most
talking about the
valuable
most
player.
valuable
stand for? Most
queens.
One at a
valuable player.
time, one at a time, guys.
Pablo
Relax.
Sanchez from Backyard Baseball could have been playing second base in the New York Yankees. It'd still be a sweep.
All right, Cioffi. I know you don't like the Yankees. I know you're a Met fan. So who's your MVP pick?
Gleyber Torres played great. He's a great player. Valuable? No. I think the most valuable. I'm going to go with the Nationals bullpen because this is a bullpen that downright was terrible all year. I went to 3 Nationals games, saw them blow 3 saves. But they showed up, especially in Game 4 and Game 5. They threw their last 8 innings of the bullpen for the Nationals were scoreless. And against the Dodgers lineup we talked about, it's very potent.
All right, so really quick, Cioffi, since I'm already on you, most iconic moment, really quick.
I love Adam Wainwright coming off the mound. They're 7 2/3 scoreless in St. Louis. Maybe his last year as a Cardinal. I love that moment.
All right, Connor?
I'm going to have to go with last night with the Nationals hitting back-to-back solo home runs and then going in and hitting the grand slam.
Javik.
Well, it's got to be, if you're going with Adam Wainwright, I'm going with Yadier Molina.
The old guy, show him some love.
It wasn't even a bat flip, let's put it that way. It was like a bat chuck.
On a sacrifice fly.
Unbelievable. The raw emotion out of it. They didn't win against Wainwright. If they had won that game, Wainwright definitely would have been the most iconic moment. But Yadier Molina and Adam Wainwright, the old guys throwing it back to when the Cardinals were absolutely nasty.
Is it 2006?
The chuck is all the way in center field. That bat is in the stands. Baseball does not run on clock, but we do. Make sure to comment down below which one of us you agree with and let us know your favorite moment so far. We'll catch you next time at the Diamond on the next episode of 101 Sports.
We're 8 weeks into what's looking like it'll be a nice, engaging Premier League season. It's time for the international break. I'm here with Will Tunis and Jack Knuettel to break down what we've seen so far in the top tier of English soccer. So, I'm going to start with you. What is the biggest surprise of the season so far that you've seen?
For me, it's got to be big signings flopping. First, Nicolas Pepe to Arsenal, $80 million, 1 goal off a penalty, and only 2 assists. He's very outplayed his contract and what they paid for him. Also, Christian Pulisic, the new American wonder kid, as he's been told before, for about $70 million. Now, he was not a signing this summer, but this is his first year playing for Chelsea, and so I feel like he's considered a new signing. 0 goals, 2 assists, and he's not getting any playing time, 5 games, a lot of them off the bench, and I'm not feeling like he's contributing enough to his contract. João Cancelo, he came over from Juventus in exchange for Danilo, and he's been sitting behind Kyle Walker this entire season. I just feel like there are a lot of players, Wan-Bissaka and Dembele, they're players that I just were transferred in there with so much money that I'm just not living up to their contracts.
Yeah, for me, it's been, Chelsea's young stars being given like a huge chance. With their transfer ban this summer, it kind of messed them up. No new signings, which is unusual for a team such as Chelsea. And you got players like Tammy Abraham with 8 goals, tied for the Golden Boot, had a nice hat trick versus Wolves. Mason Mount, the 20-year-old, the youngster playing midfield, 4 goals, and Tomori, the 20-year-old center back, scoring an absolute wonder goal, like one of the best goals from a center back I've seen. Personally, but in terms of the Pulisic deal, you said he only made 5 appearances. He has 2 assists, which isn't the worst return for a new player in the Premier League. I do think Willian for Chelsea will fall out of form soon. He's been playing pretty well recently, and Pulisic will, kind of make his way into the team. But in terms of João Cancelo for City, like their defense, wingbacks especially, that's a very stacked position for them, as pretty much every other position.
Now, you both talked about Pulisic underperforming, but let's talk about a team. What team have y'all seen that's underperforming so far this year?
For me, it's got to be Tottenham, sitting in 9th place, 11 points. Before the season, it was always Liverpool, Manchester City, Tottenham. Top 3, the rest of the big 6 could kind of fight out for that 4th, 5th, and 6th place, maybe even 7th with Leicester, having new signings that, really improved them. But, in terms of their results, I've only seen 2 good results from Tottenham. Their draw at City, which was an absolute battering. City could have easily won that game, 6-0. In that 4-0 win versus Crystal Palace. But, they got they were up 2-0 against Arsenal away. Would have been a great result. Ended up tying that 2-2, up 1-0 to Leicester away. Ended up losing that 2-1. There hasn't been that, killer aspect on offense and defense that we've seen from Tottenham in the past 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, Tottenham's a great answer for this. My first gut told me to say Everton. They're currently sitting in 18th place.
Yes.
But I think the bigger answer is Manchester United. This team lost Chris Smalling, Alexis Sanchez, Darmian, Lukaku, Herrera, and Valencia, basically for free, not much. And they brought in a couple of players that have been playing well. They have no squad depth. And currently, Greenwood, Martial, Lingard, and Pogba, including many others, are all injured. And they're having to play bare bones players. And right now, I just don't feel like they have much of a back line that can get them forward. They have 2 points from 4 games on the road, and all 4 teams are in the bottom half of the table. So I just don't feel like this team really has any identity. They basically lent out Lukaku just so that they could have their new striker come in and bang goals in, but he's had 3 goals this year, and I just feel like he hasn't much of a productive player this year.
Yeah, and we talked about the bottom half, but let's go back up to the top half. Ranked number 1 is Liverpool right now, a perfect 8-0. Like, do you see them continuing that momentum, or do you think someone else will come up and actually take that spot from them?
Right now, yeah, Liverpool 8 points clear of Manchester City. I see them kind of a little bit what happened last year. They were 7 points clear once City played their mid-season game at Christmas last year. And, City made that unbelievable surge. Liverpool only dropped a few points. I mean, talking about finishing with 97 points and you're finishing 2nd place in the Premier League. That's like unheard of. But I do think Manchester City will make a similar run this year and win their 3rd title in a row.
I have to disagree, actually. I just think Man City lost twice to Wolves and to Norwich. Both games were kind of shocking results for Manchester City.
Oh, yeah.
And then one tie game against Tottenham. If you look at the game for top 6, Liverpool is 2-0 against Chelsea and Arsenal, both good wins. And Manchester City has only played 1 game in the tie against Tottenham, which we talked about earlier. They could have been a win, but ended up in a tie. I just feel like Liverpool has gone through more. They lost Alisson in the first game week. They have a lot less squad depth and a lot, arguably, you could say, worse roster on paper, and yet they're still 8-0-0, and they're still banging in goals like left and right. I just feel more confident that Jurgen Klopp has a better identity with his team going forward.
I agree. Liverpool have been playing outstanding, especially in their defense, with Virgil van Dijk holding it down. But, one thing, I haven't been completely convinced by Liverpool. I've been convinced, but not 100%. They've had some close games, 2-1 versus Southampton, 1-0 versus Sheffield, which they kind of scored a lucky goal with a little keeper mistake. And their last game, 2-1 versus Leicester, when they won with like a last 30-second penalty. I think these are games where you could drop 2 points, getting a draw in the end. That could lead to Manchester City, catching up in the near future.
That is 8 weeks of the Premier League season down, 30 more to go. If you want more information, kick it here at 101 Sports. Heading into week 7, we are now almost halfway through the college football season, and this season has been nothing short of fantastic so far. I'm here with 2 fantastic people as well. We're with Gray Aust, Drew Gentry, and they're going to start up some mid-season college awards. So, Drew, let's start off with you. Start with the big one, the Heisman. Tell me who you got, man.
All right, I'm going to go for a 3-peat out of Oklahoma. Lincoln Riley's been doing great out there these past couple of seasons, and you know who I got to go with, Jalen Hurts. He's bringing Alabama to Oklahoma. He's got that twang to him. 1,500 yards passing, 14 TDs, 2 interceptions, and guess what? Number 1 in the nation in QBR. Who's a better quarterback than him right now? Absolutely nobody.
Well, too bad. The person that's going to win the Heisman is not even a quarterback. And just like you said, 2 Oklahoma quarterback winners in a row, voter fatigue is going to kick in, and my man from Wisconsin, Jonathan Taylor, is taking it. Man, played against Michigan, about 208 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. Dynamic. 5 games, 745 rushing yards, and coming off a 2,000-yard season.
Yeah, I'll give you that. He's already at his totals from the last 2 seasons in touchdowns, and it's only in week 7. I'll give him everything up front, but look at who he has blocking for him. He has a lot of linemen. Only 1 is 6'2" or shorter, and only 1 is under 305 pounds. How do you expect him not to have the type of output? Also, he's got the quarterback in Cone that is dominating as well. They have a balanced offense, a pro-style offense in the Big Ten. The defenses aren't that great besides a couple of secondaries. Those front sevens in the Big Ten, besides Ohio State, never produce.
See, the same arguments you just made for me about having a great offensive line, couldn't you make that same argument for Oklahoma, who always has a really good and consistent offensive line that led to 2 Heisman winners? It's the same thing. Same argument here. Great offensive line and great front sevens. Big 12 has the same thing as the Big 10. It's the exact same argument that I can make.
Well, we talk about the Big 12. Let's spin it to the SEC, who is continuing their dominance in the ranking as they have 3 teams in the top 5. Now, we'll start with you, Grace. Tell me, will 3 SEC teams make the playoffs?
Absolutely. When I see the college football playoff, all I want to see is SEC teams this year because those are the best teams in the country. I'm sorry, I'm from South Carolina, about 45 minutes from Death Valley, but Clemson should not be in it this year. They are overrated. Their defense is severely lacking this year. If you lose 4 defensive linemen in the NFL draft, you're going to start slacking, and Clemson is slacking this year. The only team not from the SEC that will make it is Ohio State because they are dominating so far. But we should, if the playoff committee does it right, 3 SEC teams.
I'm sorry. There's absolutely no way in a 4-team system that you can get 3 in there. You got Florida, who's about to beat the tires off of LSU this week. We got it's not even going to be close.
Way.
Georgia's not even close to LSU or Bama, in my opinion. I do agree. Clemson is weak this year, but Clemson could fall off to another team that we might talk about here in a little bit in Wake Forest. But they could fall off. They could fall off. I do agree, but there's absolutely no way with how deep the country is in those top 7 spots that you can fill 3 from the same conference because there's going to be 2 with 2 losses.
So you even mentioned the same team though. Florida, a bit overrated.
What do you
mean? Florida's a bit overrated.
Number 1 in takeovers in the country. Their defense can shut anybody down. I don't care
But
about
can their
DBU. I
offense
don't
produce?
care.
Can
They
their
don't need
offense?
to. They had a kid come in that didn't
If you're
start
going
in
up
his
against
first 5 weeks.
Alabama and you're going against LSU and they're going to play Georgia, your defense
I'm
can't win
sorry.
your games if you play Jake Fromm. I'm sorry.
They're going to beat them. I don't care. Florida's going to the playoff this year.
Oh, no. Wow.
Four seed.
Oh,
Well, we've had a lot of hot takes here, but one more. Let's talk about the biggest surprise that y'all have seen this college football season.
Well,
Drew, who you got?
I got to go with another North Carolina team in this situation. I got to go with App State. Let me get this off real quick. They're 5-0. They're about to win their conference for the 3rd straight year. I understand that they're not expected there, but they've been top 25 a couple of years in a row, and they continue to produce every week, and they have 4 rushers with over 100 yards each. And that's something that a lot of offenses cannot say.
So you're saying we're doing best surprises, right?
Best surprises.
So I mean, if they're going to be top 25 the last few years, I mean, how is it a surprise if they're this far? They've won the Sun Belt 3 out of the 4 years that they've been in it, and so how is this a surprise that they're doing so well?
Because they continue to show that a transition from the FCS to the FBS is possible. A team that came in just less than 5 years ago is already in the top 25 consistently week in and week out or near that borderline. That is impressive. That is something that we do not see. If a team like North Dakota State came in, it wouldn't be a surprise. But a team like App State that doesn't have the funding, hasn't had the funding, and is in such a smaller area, I believe there is that potential that is a big upset and teams have not seen before.
Well, you did say North Dakota State. I mean, Fargo, North Dakota is pretty barren out there. It's the same team, basically. They won 3 straight national championships in the FCS. App State has the fans. They have the funding as well. They have a big student body that they can pull from. So I think App State being here is not really that shocking.
Well, you talk about something being barren. I'm going to tell you one thing. There's a lot of energy in here right here. If you want more energy, stay tuned. We'll be right back here on 101 Sports.
Hi, my name is Luis Muller, and I'm here at the #1 most beautiful campus according to Princeton Review. Today, I get to ask you guys which side you're on. Who is the most attractive athlete?
Probably Odell Beckham. That's pretty him, dude.
Odell Beckham? I was expecting a female. I wasn't.
You said handsome.
Okay, I'll take that, but I don't know. Drew Gentry, he's pretty attractive himself.
I'm not gonna lie. The way I'm looking at him right now, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
One question: who is the most attractive athlete? Oh, and it can't be yourself.
My friend here, right here on the soccer team.
I'm gonna have to agree with that one. That's a good choice.
Christian McCaffrey.
Okay.
Sure. Beyonce.
Beyonce.
She's an athlete.
Okay.
Beyonce's an athlete.
She has an athletic body. I'll say that.
Have you seen a concert?
Yeah.
moving.
Dancing is a sport.
Yeah, like. Oh, who's the kid from the Bucks? Giannis.
Oh,
I
yeah,
like Giannis.
Giannis.
Yeah, because he
Giannis.
seems like he's got a good soul. Serena.
Sharapova.
Oh,
Is
Maria
that it?
Sharapova.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good
All right, why?
Yeah. Why?
Yeah. I'm just going to pick on you a little bit because you took the longest.
Why? I don't know, man. She's just long and lean and I mean, blonde. Come on.
Skylar Diggins.
Why?
Just look at her. She played ball. Good skin, nice smile. Hey, if you saying this in the future, what's up? Hit me up, for real.
Are you going to drop an Addy or something?
For sure. I'm about to slide in her DMs right after this.
Oh, all right. Well, good luck to you. Good luck to you. You have a good one.
Marcus Lattimore.
Oh, what sport does he play?
He was running back for University of South Carolina.
All right, and you're a big college football fan?
Not really. He was really good looking. He was also a good philanthropist. So.
I would have to say Tom Brady.
Tom Brady? Are you from Massachusetts?
Yeah.
30 minutes outside Boston?
A little closer, but yeah, pretty much. Oh shoot. I don't really know. Maybe like Stephen Curry. I don't know.
Oh, I got it. Go ahead.
Tom Brady.
Oh, well, you're a second Tom Brady, surprisingly.
1, TJ Oshie.
Oh.
2, Chris Bryant.
Anyone else?
Adrian Peterson.
Okay.
I'm looking at.
Yeah, she definitely did. I'm looking at it right now.
And he's shirtless on the beach.
Yeah, she.
25 hottest male athletes. I would say 100%
Chris
Chris Bryant.
Bryant?
I just don't have. Pick a sports player. Mason Rudolph or Juju. Yeah, Juju.
Juju? Okay. At least you didn't have to look it up.
Antonio Brown.
Oh, that was quick. You had that one story. Your father may not be disappointed. That's a pretty good pick. That's a pretty good pick.
Thank
Why?
You didn't need a lot of controversy. I find that very attractive.
Is it because like he fell off of the after controversy, or is it just because he's in controversy?
He's in the news. I feel like that generates a lot of income.
I mean, that's money. All right, so first I gotta ask you, how'd you get 3 picks in your last game? What was going through your head?
All right, so after I got the first one, it was like he kind of threw it right to me, and then I realized that we were playing New Hampshire, so I told some of my teammates, I said, I'm gonna have more than 2 today. So it just came in, you speak things into existence and make it happen.
All right, well, another thing, you're trying to do something here.
I'm trying to get like you, man.
Nah, you trying to outdo me here. I don't know what it is, but the question I have for you is, who is the most attractive athlete?
And I can't say myself?
No,
Well, I
you
guess
can't say
everybody-
yourself.
everybody
Everyone
already
else
knew.
would. Everyone already said you. So
Okay.
we need a different answer for content.
This is about to be rough. Ooh. All right, this is going to be a good answer. Anna Popovich, because she already left, but she was an athlete here, and that saves me from getting in trouble with anybody else here.
Okay, that's fair. It
Final
doesn't have to
answer.
be. It doesn't have to be an athlete here.
Oh, okay,
It
okay.
can be an
okay.
athlete anywhere.
Oh, Candace Parker.
Professional.
Candace Parker.
Okay, how come?
She's just bad. She's just bad.
You gonna
She
try to
already
slide?
right. Yeah, I'm sliding on that one. Final answer.
Right after this.
Final answer, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for your time. Congratulations on 3 picks.
Peyton
Peyton Manning.
Steph Curry because of his eyes.
Oh, you're an eye person. Huh?
I'm going to say Russell Wilson. Go Seahawks.
Yeah. I have to go old school, Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan. I like that pick.
I'm going to agree with Russell Wilson.
Oh God. Male or female?
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're from Boston. Well, Massachusetts. So.
Crap. That's a tough one. Let's go with Serena Williams.
Serena Williams. So you ask boy or girl, and then you go with Serena Williams? I'd assume you would go boy after that.
Nah.
Can I have a French fry?
Sure.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. I'm gonna dip it in ketchup. Biscuitville, you need to get some. Me personally, Giancarlo Stanton. I mean, he's a hunk of a human being, 6'6", 260 pounds of pure muscle. Can't get much better than that. Make sure you like and subscribe and comment down below who is your most attractive athlete. I'll be joined by Emmanuel Tobe at the Edwards desk when we come right back. That's all we have on this episode of 101 Sports.
If you like what you saw, make sure you subscribe. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, all at 101 Sports. But until next time, whose
side are you on?
They're on mine. They're on mine.
No, they're definitely on mine.
I think they're on mine.
No.